How many remember Enyce clothing? The oversized logo tees, denim sets, and crispy velour tracksuits that dominated the late 90s and early 2000s. If you were in the streetwear during hip hop's golden era, chances are you had at least one piece from Enyce. Early disclaimer: there's about 3 or 4 ways that I've heard this brand pronounced. I've always said Enyce or Enyce, but some people also call it NYC, which creatively enough, it does spell phonetically. So I know how anal some people can get about how I sometimes pronounce things, and they love to let me know about it in the comment section, but don't attack me on this one. You're free to pronounce it however you like. But anyway, Enyce had a huge run during their heyday. They were in all the quote-unquote urban stores and constantly advertised in magazines like The Source and Vibe. It seemed that at that time, they had the type of momentum that could propel them to legacy brand status. But somewhere along the line, things went astray. Ever wonder how? What caused one of the most visible brands of the early 2000s to come crashing down and eventually being sold off at fire sale prices? Well, let's find out. I'm Nate the Great from TakeFlight214.com, and this is the rise and fall of Enyce clothing, from rap videos to clearance racks. But before we get started, as always, please take a second to stop and smash that like button for us. It's free for you, and it really does help us continue to grow. Another way to help out the channel is by stopping by our website and checking out the wares. We have hundreds of art pieces that any fan of the channel is sure to love. But with all that being said, let's dive into this story. The year was 1996 and the proto streetwear scene was booming. Hip hop had gone mainstream throughout the decade and fashion was following suit. Tons of brands were popping up to cater to the desire of fans who wanted to dress like their favorite rappers. Enter Evan Davis, Lando Felix, and Tony Shelman. 3 friends who originally met in 1994 while working together at International News, a Seattle-based sportswear company. They had previously collaborated on Mecca USA, a streetwear brand launched under the Seattle company, which became a $20 million success within a few years, and another brand that we'll have to cover at some point soon. By 1996, the 3 had grown frustrated with Mecca's creative direction and label pigeonholing. That March, they left together and, leveraging their respective skills, launched a new men's street fashion line under Fila USA, named Enyce, or Enyce, or NYC, or whatever. Having been disillusioned by their time at Mecca, Enyce wasn't just about selling clothes. It was about elevating streetwear into something more premium and fashion forward. Early on, Enyce distinguished itself from the other brands with tailored silhouettes, techie fabrics, and bold, embroidered logos. They never wanted to be just another hip-hop brand. Even in the early days, they had runway ambitions. By the late 90s and early 2000s, Enyce exploded. You could find their pieces on some of the biggest names in the culture, in music videos, on red carpets, and on stage. Thanks to their partnership with Fila USA, they had national distribution. They were in every hip-hop boutique as well as major stores like Macy's and Dillard's. It hit the sweet spot of accessible enough for the average kid, but stylish enough for celebs. And in an era where brand loyalty in hip-hop was at its strongest, I mean, think about it. Rocawear belonged to Jay-Z, Sean John to Diddy. Enyce carved out a loyal fan base of its own, despite not being tied to any specific rapper. Clean lines, embossed logos, layered textures. Enyce was the go-to for people who wanted to stunt, but not bust the bank while doing it. They quickly became profitable, and by 1999, they generated over $30 million in annual sales as a Fila subsidiary. In 2003, Sports Brands International acquired the entire Fila portfolio, including Enyce, for a whopping $351 million. They went from a brand launched by 3 friends, disillusioned by their previous employer, to part of a package deal worth $300 million. They cashed out on the top, let's be honest. But Enyce, the brand, soldier on. However, any fan of the channel knows what normally happens once brands' original creatives sell out to suits. It doesn't take long for the wheels to fall off. And less than a year later, SBI realized that they were out of their depths with streetwear and sold off the brand to Liz Claiborne for $114 million. Liz Claiborne tried to scale the brand, but they failed to truly understand the culture behind Enyce's appeal. The edge was dulled. The designs lost touch with the streets. Not to mention, the golden era of streetwear was ramping up. Fresher, younger brands were taking over the scene with a more in-touch look and more connection to the culture itself. The new owners at Enyce had no chance at keeping up. Eventually, in 2008, Liz Claiborne sold Enyce to none other than Sean Diddy Combs, the man behind Sean John at the time and Baby Oil Gate of now, for the fire sale price of $20 million. A far cry from the $114 million that they had got 4 years earlier. It seemed like the perfect home at the time, but instead of revitalizing the brand, Enyce was just shelved, with Diddy focusing on expanding Sean John as the flagship. In hindsight, many wonder why Diddy ever even bought the brand in the first place. All of his focus was obviously on Sean John. Some believe the acquisition was a strategic move to eliminate competition rather than revive a competitor, which, I mean, makes sense in hindsight, but you spend $20 million to do that? Sheesh. Today, Enyce still exists. Barely. You can find it in off-price retailers and discount chains, a reminder of its once iconic legacy. For many, it's a name from the past, a brand that defined an era but couldn't evolve with the times. Back in the day, if you pulled up in Enyce, you were fresh. Now, not so much. While you might not find Enyce in your local mall anymore, its DNA exists in every collaboration between fashion houses and rappers, every luxury hoodie with a street edge, every collection that blurs the line between downtown and runway. Enyce didn't just make clothes, it captured an era. A time when hip-hop ruled MTV, denim was king, and your outfit said everything about who you were. For anyone who lived it, Enyce will always be a part of the golden era, when hip-hop, hustle, and fashion collided in the dopest way possible. And for that reason alone, I think they deserve a spot in the Culture's Hall of Fame. But what do you think? Were you a fan of Enyce back in the day? Would you wear any of their vintage stuff now? And better yet, how did you pronounce the name? Hit us up in the comments and let us know. And if you made it all the way to the end of the video and you enjoy content like this, then don't forget to smash that like button. Liking, sharing, and commenting on these videos is the only way to get the YouTube algorithm to notice us so that we can continue to grow. And if you want to be updated whenever we drop a new episode, then hit the subscribe button and then the notification bell. That way you can be reminded when each new video is released. With all that being said, I'm Nate the Great from TakeFlight214.com signing out. Until next time. Peace.